Welcome to my trade show booth in my garage. I'm here to talk about hydroxy gas and Hydrant Garage and HydrantTrucker.com. I've been in business for 19 years. Been selling these HHO cells. We've got cells for every size engine. We're compliant by boosting your gas or diesel engine with water fuel. Water is life. What is water? Our body's 70% water-based. All our cells. The planet's 75% water on the surface area. We love water. Without water, we die. So water's life. We love water. Like we swim in it, we dive in it, we go surfing in the water, we go water skiing. People love water. It's part of life. And the two elements of water is hydrogen and oxygen. And these can be bombed, or there's destructive power. They can blow up. And why not use it? It's simple. Why wouldn't we taught this in school? And so I was fascinated by this. I read a Tesla book when I was 19 years old in Idaho. I read the O'Neill Tesla book, so it opened my mind back then. Here I'm 68 years old today, and in this Hydrant Garage, the reason why I'm making this, also I'm selling this single license of Bob Boyce's hydroxy gas, 1981 gag ordered patent. Why was it gag ordered? Because he proved 120% over unity. Now, there's 6,000 patents locked up since around 1930. Why are they locked up? Gag ordered. That means you can't talk about it. Classified. What? Because they prove 120% or over unity. It runs on itself. Man's laws of physics that can't be broken. Well, God's laws of physics are a little different. And Tesla discovered it in 1900 at Colorado Springs. Lightning is it. We all see lightning. Can we tap into that energy? That's millions of volts coming down. It's static energy. We all gotten around lightning and your hair jumps up. It's part of our body. Our body's like a battery, and this energy charges us as we sleep at night. We're not taught this. So this is time to let this out. I did this 19 years selling this stuff under the radar, selling to individuals in the garage who were interested like me, like me and Jerome. Jerome made most of these cells design. He's a friend, partner of mine. And we've been making these cells for all this time, and it's same basic design. Then we met Bob like a year after I did it. I started making this clear education cell. Went online, made an electrolysis cell. I don't know what I was doing, but I got lucky and I got a MC12, PWM with a N-channel MOSFET. So it sucked in negative energy, and I got gains. But the cell, I got ionic water vapor, meaning it heated up, and I went to the water really fast, and the electrodes all rusted after about 6 months. I had to throw it away and start over, but it was kind of fun, and I got gains and everything. And then I met Bob at a trade show in the hotel room in LA, and he liked, we got along, and so he allowed us to put this out there. He thought it was kind of funny. I go, well, God told me to do this business. For 26 years, I did graphic arts in a t-shirt company, and we had a great time for 26 years. And I sold my share in 2007. I started up Hydrant Garage because I felt the Lord told me to do it. And so the reason I'm mentioning that is I'm doing a dangerous business. Water the free fuel, no bombs on board. So when I started this business, I was going to call it water fuel cell, because I got gains going to my mining claim and back, a long 900-mile trip. I was wasting gas in my truck, so I wanted to save on gas, and I was, and it had more horsepower and everything. And so I have a chart that it can show you the different orbitals of power of hydrogen water, from steam all the way to tritium, which is radioactive. It's nuclear. That's no good. It's dangerous. Deuterium is classified, and below that we were allowed to use it. Nuclear. That's no good. It's dangerous. Deuterium is classified, and below that we were allowed to use it, I guess. So we're selling these things to you. So I sold them to people in a kit form, so that if the liability is in their hands, if it blows up, see, the deep state would buy it and blow it up and get me out of business. This way, if I did it liability-wise, it's in their hands, and they can't do that. And so I had to make it in a kit form and sell it to people like me that were interested in water. I heard about it online, and I go, wow, water. Which became a name. It used to be H2O, and then they call it HHO, this community. They call it dry cell, wet cell. It's all wet inside. It's just right. Hydroxy gas is different. This is Bob. It's 4 times more powerful from boosting application. I'll explain that to you. So his patent is a 7-plate cell. Here's one for, that's what I have in my card. This is for a 2 to 3 liter engine, just for boosting. You only run like 5 amps. Other guys are running 25 amps. See, our gas is more powerful, and we cleanse every cell too. We get all the contaminants out before I send anything out. And I test every single one of them, and we put a pulse width modulator, puts a square wave pulse, so this comes with it. And this is your dash controller, and it's got a little knob. You can change the amps. You go by amp draw. And then we set the frequency for 300, and we've been doing it for a long time. We got these things on the side. These are one's an inductor, toroid, wrapped with silver wire, and then this is an RF choke, it's a positive. These are in a pair, and they bring in non-Hertzian energy. Also, our cell has neutral plates, meaning that this one's positive, neutral, 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 5 neutral plates, and this one's negative. So you got, that's Bob's design. It's patent for a 7-plate is for 12 volt, car systems, 14 volt, whatever. And there's next size up, like this one's for a V8 engine. So this is for a 4 liter up to around 6 liter, and it's a dual 7, so it's got 7 plates on each side, and the gas separates in the middle. Negative on the inside, positive on the outside, and it's got a clear. Now we've changed it to clear acrylic on the outside. You can see the water level, and here's one of Jerome's cell. It's a 13 plate where negatives on the inside, positives on the outside, and he called this ice block 13. Jerome's made helped me make these cells most of the years, and so if everyone buys this business, it'll include me and Jerome to go out and help you set up the shop to follow Bob's instructions. You got to follow what he says, so it's a long story. I'll explain it to you. And then we also sell, this comes with Volo, like I explained in my other video. This hooks up to your car to tell the engine, don't flood it with gas. Don't enrich the fuel because of a clean burn. Don't flood it for gas because the engine's running a little cooler now. So it deals with coolant temp, air take temp, and leaning it out a little bit. And it can't throw a check engine light, can't wreck an engine. And semi-truck guys are getting 10% just with this plugged in. You can save 50, 100 bucks every time you fill your truck up and buy you dinner, these, the way I look at it. And then also Volo has a BP16. This is for 380. This is a dash screen that you put on your dash, and in my other video I explain it, what it does, and it does many different things. Now this cell over here, this one's kind of a big, I used to put these on 12 liter, but I had a dual 7 like this one, or a 13 plate. This thing's 9 by 16. The plates are a lot bigger. So we go by surface area too. We have it down where the surface area to the size of your liter engine. And it can be gas or diesel, does not matter, but it works on both. And this one here is called a S16. It's a single 7, and this is for like 7 to 8 liter. Like this is going on a Genset engine, 8 liter Perkins. This one here. Now this other one here is this bigger one here. You can't really see it. Let's see. This one is for our trucker. 16 liters, a newer, latest one I came up with, and this one kicks ass. The one guy's getting 24% better mileage. That's kind of hard to believe, but we guarantee about 20. The Volo will give you 10, and then this will give you 10, and you'll have more power, and you're slowly cleaning out the engine. See what Bob's gas is. It's negative H, negative H, negative O. Why is that? Because the toroids into the magnet, this is the field. We have an N-channel MOSFET. We're switching on the negative side. We're bringing this negative energy in, which is non-Hertzian energy is negative. And the planets are round ball antennas, and they're positive ground. So it's a puzzle. Positive ground, our ground is negative. Well, that's why it's a little different. That's why it's kind of, a lot of them don't believe it. A lot of engineers don't believe this. Even college professors. I had a guy from Santa Barbara college professor walk out of here because I started mentioning non-Hertzian energy. And non-Hertzian energy has many names. I'll go list them right here. Ether energy, longitudinal energy, en-richen energy, orgone energy, subdual energy, Jurassic C.A.R.B energy, dark space energy, dark energy, because it comes from the middle of the Milky Way, somewhere in the middle of a dark black hole, they call it, and the energy's coming out. It's all to do with sun and the planets spinning around. They're all toroidal fields. The planet has a toroidal field, positive north, south pole. It all works together. It should be studied at school. They took it out because it equals free energy. And water, the free fuel. That's why I'm kind of in a dangerous position doing this. That's why I mentioned Jesus, because he'll keep me alive if I mention his name. And so, and if they want to send, BlackRock wants to send a hitman to take out Bro Andrew, well, they'll have to meet Jesus before I do. That's all I can say. Anyway, so this is my trade show booth. I'm a graphic artist. I came up with all this. I made a logo for Bob. Bob has hydroxy gas trademark, so it's for sale. HydrogenGarage.com, Hydrogen Trucker. This should be on every car in the world because it works. What we're doing is, okay, we're making negative H, negative H, negative O. Common HHO, I call it common para-hydrogen. The two H's are split. From the water, you split the water. And the two H's are sharing a proton, a positive, negative, they're floating around. They're together. They're actually apart, but they're sharing a proton. So they're floating around. They're happy. They're married, and they're floating around. They'll blow up, and they'll light up and go bang. Go on a torch, no problem. But Bob's gas, we split it in such a way, we whack it so hard with negative energy that it becomes just negative H, negative H, negative O. There's no positive part of it. And so what happens is the negative H, they're floating around looking for a positive mate. They're going. And so what's the positive mate? Carbon's positive. The whole hydrocarbon chain is positive. So when you add this gas into the air intake, all we're doing is we make this gas on demand as we drive. So there's no tanks on board. You just start your car and 5 amps on a 2-liter engine. The V8 engine gets like 10, 12 amps on the V8. The trucker gets 20, 25 amps. The one down here, this cell here, you run about 15 amps, 18, and no more. You don't need any more because this gas is 4 times more powerful. In the situation of boosting. We call it boosting, you're just boosting the ride. You're adding a catalyst to the fuel. You're burning all the fuel you purchased and what have you. You complete the burn in the cylinder. We clean emissions by 85% and NOx by 90%. This is at Dyno Labs with EPA approved Dyno Labs. And EPA is starting to recognize this. There's a lot of HHO companies that copy Bob and me. Bob had a forum for about 2008 to 2020. Called the Hydroxy Gas Forum. And there were 10,000 people on there. And back then, man, when I first started, I just put a little ad out there. I talked about it, and man, I was so busy. People are very into it back then. Now it's kind of dropped off, and people think they have to go buy an electric car, or they think they're going to have to go buy this hydrogen bomb car, the tanked hydrogen. 10,000 pounds of pressure. Come on, man. They got this gas stations, and the handle freezes up. They don't have it out yet. Nothing will ever happen. And BlackRock's funded it, Blackstone, that's just the cabal money, really. I just don't trust anything of those people, another story there. But what is the air? Air is 70% nitrogen. It sucks into your engine through the front of the radiator. There's an air snorkel to your air filter, and the air is being sucked into your engine. Then when you floor it to go fast, the cams go wide open, and that's what the Volo does. It puts on 100% wide open. So when you floor it, you can feel extra horsepower. It's not like a sports car. That's what the Volo does. That's one thing. And so you're adding air is 70% nitrogen. Nitrogen this sounds like a bomb, nitrogen, but it's actually an inert gas and it's safe. It's like a filler in the sky. It doesn't spark up, doesn't light. Oxygen, if you take oxygen out, a fire won't happen. So oxygen is part of a fire. It sparks our body. Our body likes oxygen. We need it to live. And then hydrogen is the other one. That's more of a bomb. It's explosive. So you put the two together, they're stronger, more efficient, less energy to make it. And so you just add this hydroxy gas into the air intake. Just mix it in, earlier the better, into the air intake. Just a hose. There's no tank. It just the gas is made as you drive, and it just sucks into the air intake. And then you got about 5% of hydrogen and oxygen with this 70% nothing nitrogen gas, then hydrogen and oxygen. Well, what happens is these negative H's grab a hold of the hydrocarbon and bond to it. Second later marries the molecule into one, and then a second later blows it all apart in the cylinder. All done in a split of a second. This is when hydroxy gas is 4 times more powerful, because we're completing the burn. We're making a catalyst to the fuel. It should be on every single burning engine out there. You know, from lawnmowers to buses to trains to cars. It should be more studied more, because it cleans the engine out. You know what it does? It takes all the black carbon out of the cylinder heads, the valve stems, and everything. Once you run one of these for about a year, the carbon disappears and this gold tint comes in there. Gold? Yeah, because we're microclustering the water is another thing we're doing. The science of the water goes very deep. I'll send another video of the water smacker. I'll explain that. I'm making videos this week because orders are slow and who knows what's going on now. You know, I hope the QFS gold back banking kicks in. Do you know about that? Go look it up. Some people think it's a fraud, but it's white hat stuff that's in the background trying to get it to come out. And when that happens, everybody will have money. So right now we're all in the credit card debt and problems, and we don't know what's going on, but Jesus does, so just rely on him. That's all you got to do is follow him, and then you have nothing to lose, and life keeps going, and and you meet your loved ones, past loved ones again. If I'm wrong, I got nothing to lose. I always tell people that way. But anyway, so I'm trying to sell this business because it should go Richter, and so the license is for sale. Contact me, I'll tell you the price and what the obligations are, and it's hooked up to Bob's patent that no one can see. It's classified, but you can also send a cease and desist letter if someone's copying it and you don't like them, and they're giving you a hard time, or a lot of people say they're following Bob, but they only make HHO, common parahydrogen, which it blows up, but it doesn't bond to the hydrocarbon. It just blows up on its own. See, okay, gasoline and diesel, it's called the slow flame rate. At first it's got to heat up, vaporize, and blow up. So that's a slow process. They call it a slow flame rate. Hydrogen's gas is ready to go now. It doesn't heat up. So it's a fast flame rate. It's going to burn quickly. So to combine the two, it's like impossible. But with this Bob's negative gas bonding to the hydrocarbon, that's the ticket. See, that's when it slows it down. The slow flame rate shakes hands with the fast flame rate and blows it all up. And how can you see these molecules? Well, Bob has, this is rocket science. He's the Department of Defense science. They make bombs and rockets and everything his whole life. So they have mass spectrometers that can actually look at the molecules going by. So he saw it bond to it, and then a second later marry it. He can slow the camera down so you can look at it all, and then it blows up. So it shows you what's happening. This is rocket science. This is not me. This is in a garage. Everything starts in the garage, which was cool. Oh yeah, okay, if you want to try it out, why don't you buy one? I'm kind of, I get used to work, it's just been slow lately, and, Google don't like me. They want me off the map. If I make a YouTube video, the counts, what they call it, throttling back, the hits are barely anything. And so which is plus H, negative and positive H, negative positive H, negative positive O. Because there's two electrons, two H's are stuck together, they're sharing a proton, and they're split, but they're happy on their own. And when you suck them into the air, into your air intake, yeah, they do blow up with the hydrocarbons, but they're not working together. See, our gas Bob's gas is negative. So what's hydrocarbon? It's positive. Carbon is positive, and so this negative gas bonds to it's looking for a mate. It's got two H's and it's floating around. These two H's are split, looking for a positive mate. And when you suck it into the air intake of your engine, inside the combustion chamber, it has to go with the flame rate of gasoline. So gas has to first heat up, vaporize, then blow up. So it's called a slow flame rate. This hydrogen gas is super fast, and it doesn't need to heat up. It's ready to burn now. So you're dealing with two different speeds of gases and timing of the engine. So when the Bob's gas comes in, you mix it with the air, and when it comes in, you're bringing it more combustible air, really. Just air sucked into the air intake. It can't hurt your engine. It's going to clean your engine all out of all carbon. After over time, you give it about a year, and all that carbon in your rings and piston rings and the valve stems, all that black will be gone. It'll be gold, because we're micro-clustering the water in the cell. That's another thing people don't understand. When you're non-Hertz energy, it micro-clusters the water, and gold's in the water. That's what heals our body. It's in a sulfide state. Ormus, you go look it up. I have links to this. Ormus is a gold in a sulfide state before it turns metal. So what happens is the metal starts to form on the negative side. The positive side of the plate starts to grow carbon. It's kind of a gray color, and we're not running a lot of heat, so we have voltage dividers. Like this cell here has 7 plates, so you got negative on one side, negative on this side, positive on the other. Then you have 5 neutral plates. We call voltage dividers. So it's taking 12 volts and dividing it by 5, 6 different cells, like a battery, just like a battery under the hood. It's not really what it is. And then you have 2 volts between each cell. So at low voltage, it doesn't make any heat, and you don't lose electricity, you don't lose efficiency. When you go over 2.8 volts, then the efficiency starts eroding the electrode. You start eroding it starts making heat. It starts oxidizing, it starts rusting, it starts making anode mud, which is we call it. It makes your water all red and dirty, and our water stays pretty clean at the inside the cell. And lately I've been putting clear, like Jerome used to always put clear acrylic, and Bob always did too, clear because it's got the right dielectric properties, because it doesn't absorb any electrical stuff. It doesn't absorb the dielectric properties. Anyway, so then we also square wave pulse it. We made these PWMs, which is a MOSFET switch in here, which pulses a square wave. We want a square wave to whack the molecule. When you whack the molecule in such a way, it just blasts it into this non-Hertzian state where it's on, the 2 H's are on their own now. You blasted them apart, so they stay negative because you're bringing non-Hertzian energy. We have negative 35 volt spikes come in from the toroids, and plus the design in the neutral plates makes one side of the plate's positive, the other side negative, positive, negative, and these neutral plates it's breaking laws of physics right there. How does a piece of metal have positive on one side, negative on the other, and then it flips positive, negative, positive. So it's creating a magnetic field. So non-Hertzian energy is attracted to the magnetic field. So it's attracted to the inductor, which is silver-coated wire. You have to use superconductive. See, it's femtosecond pulsing of the E. Great. Thank you, and have a great day. Thanks for visiting my booth today in my garage. Bye.